And now it's time for Thoughts from Under the Hood.
There's a metric for the passage of time that I think we children from the 80s and 90s could be using, but we're underutilizing. I haven't actually heard anyone use it besides me, and that's the evolution of gas station pizza. You see, when I was a kid, and I mean a little one, like a little guffer, I remember going to the gas station with my grandmother in her Mercury Grand Marquis, and when I would go in with her to pay, all they had to eat were candy bars, maybe, and gum, and maybe soda, but I don't think they had that. But they had cigarettes, and they had gum. That was about it. Then every once in a while, you would also have a gas station that had an attached convenience store, and you could get your sodas and maybe even some lotto tickets and toothbrush and personal things like a camp store, the things that you would find in a campground store, the bare essentials, man. Oh yeah, and chips. Little bags of chips started to become available at gas stations. And with the gas stations that offered a few more sodas and a few more bags of chips and jerky, stuff like that, they also had pizza there. That was the only hot food that they had. They weren't yet making deep fried foods and subs and stuff like that. They would put a pizza pie in a pizza oven or in a regular oven, and they would have that up by the register. And then, of course, like the little heated wheelie things that they still have. But I do remember thinking, should we stop at this station or that one? That one's got pizza. Pizza was the first hot food the gas stations had that I remember around here. And then suddenly, pizza became ubiquitous at gas stations, which is kind of weird when you think about it. I mean, not. It's easy enough to prepare and to keep inexpensive things on hand, and it's probably got a good profit margin. But really, when you think about food on the road and the convenience of things, pizza was the first hot grab and go, freshly made item at fuel stops that you could get. And now, that's where I go for my pizza. We do have a pizza shop in town, but I like to mix it up. And so, like, when I need dinner and I'm not making a pizza at home, I go to the gas station for it. That's kind of wild. And it's wild for me to think that my kids are growing up in a time where you get food at a gas station, at a fuel stop. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about tonight, is the evolution of gas station pizzas throughout my lifetime. Also, all the Zennials like to talk about how we needed MapQuest before there were smartphones or GPS navigation, and you had to print out like 12 pages of directions to get from point A to point B when you were traveling, if you didn't know how to use a gazetteer or an atlas. But what I don't hear people talking about is when you went to an unfamiliar city and you went to a gas station to get a map of that city. And when I think about it, I moved downstate Pennsylvania near Philadelphia before I had a smartphone. So I was in my early 20s and I was navigating like Philly, never having been there. I just went online, found out what exit to take to kind of get to where I wanted to be, and I would stop at a gas station and I would find a map of Philadelphia and like circle where I needed to be and find out where I was and be like, okay, I've got to head south this many and east this many. I did that all the time, and in my glove compartment I had all of the maps of all of the surroundings, so like Philly, Allentown, Reading, Pittsburgh, Wilkes-Barre, all of like this part. And I had a similar stack for the other part of the state, and then any other state you would visit, you would get the fold-out map. And I still like the fold-out map. Yeah, that's what's going on in my noggin tonight.